Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And it's time to talk about Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 8, The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. I'm on my own today, unfortunately. I can't find help today. People are busy. Even I myself didn't really want to do this, but as one of the main advocates for this stream, the show has to go on with somebody, so it might as well be me. So let's talk about this final episode, shall we? This episode is basically our heroes trying to stop Grand Admiral Thrawn from returning back to the original galaxy. So we have our characters going to meet Thrawn on that unusual planet, and whilst they're going there, they get hit by some fire throws, some TIE fighters that stops them in their progress, because that's actually Thrawn's whole process. He doesn't underestimate the Jedi. He knows the Jedi are there to stop him. He knows that one Jedi, even a Padawan type of Jedi, can stop them. So he doesn't underestimate them, which is why he tries to, halt them in their tracks, so to speak. And considering there's three of them coming after him, a Master, a Knight, and a Padawan of sorts in Sabine, he's definitely not taking any chances. Anyways. Our little crab people are also there. I don't know why they're actually attending, to tell you the truth, because what the hell are they going to do? If anything, they're going to be more of a liability. And I did actually think that at one point that once they decided to leave the crab people behind, along with Hu Wang, who was there to repair the ship after it destroyed the TIE fighters, I genuinely thought, oh no, Hu Wang is going to be left behind as well. It was very unusual how we got to the final proceedings, but with several fights on display, including zombie stormtroopers, which really made me happy, because two of my favorite books, I have to say, are Star Wars horror books. There's the Red Harvest, which is an Old Republic book based on the early zombie Sith, and then there's Death Troopers, set during the original trilogy, where we have zombie stormtroopers, and this kind of reminded me of those zombie stormtroopers. It was a nice harken to that. Morgan Elsbeth as well. Finally, her character is laid to rest after a really good fight scene with Ahsoka Tano as well. But I always thought Ahsoka Tano should have taken her to school. And at one point, we did have Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine. All three of them had a chance to take on Morgan, but they didn't. If all three of them took on Morgan, I really do think that they would have probably taken care of her a lot quicker. Regardless, it just left us with a nice moment of fighting, and the logic was, I guess, reasonable enough regarding that they had to stop Thrawn from escaping. So yeah, they decided not to fight more. All three of them decided, look at this guy, he's a pain in the ass. All three of them decided not to fight Morgan instead, because they had to stop Thrawn. Let's have a look what you have to say, Daniel. Once I have to say the music was very on point on this episode. So many wonderful pieces. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And the Blade Morgan is given one night sister Talzin used to fight Mace Windu. Hey, and look, we have another Zam on display. Hello, my son. I see. Well done. Adam, by the way, wants to join us, but he's having problems. But what do you expect? The guy still doesn't get it. If you got Apple, it ain't fucking working. If you can try and explain that to him, that'd be great. Mr. Systems, I almost called you Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. But hello, how you doing? Yeah. By the way, the Blade Morgan got, it had a particular name, the Night Sister Talzin, but I'm decided to call it the Blade of Dalsim, and I wanted some yoga fire out of that, but no, we didn't get any. It's the system. I haven't seen any of the Star Wars content yet. You haven't? This is arguably the best mainstream Star Wars. A lot of people will still go or clamor for Andor. I can totally understand that, because it's quite unique and it's more adult orientated. But when it comes to that sort of mainstream sort of bubblegum popcorn Star Wars that people want out of Disney nowadays, I would definitely say Ahsoka is probably it. Initially, it would have been Mandalorian, but considering Star Wars, harkens back a lot to Jedi's and Sith and lightsabers and all of that, I definitely would say that Ahsoka is definitely that mainstream Star Wars, and it made a lot of people happy. Now, I do have my issues with this, so I'll get back to that in a second. How did you find this episode, Cheetah?
Thanks. I just stuck a piece of burrito in my mouth. I thought it was good. A lot of good action. I'm glad it did not turn out like Ginger was predicting, where he said that it was going to be the first, what did he say, like 20 minutes or 15 minutes is all action, and then the last like 30 or 20 is wrap up. So I'm very glad that we did not get that. It was action nonstop until pretty much like the last 5 minutes. We all knew that Thrawn was going to get away. I thought honestly the heroes were going to make it back with them, but now Ahsoka and Sabine are,
and Hu Yang.
Well, yeah, and also Balin and his apprentice. I can't remember her name at the moment. Shin. Like they're both stuck there too, which is, like it's actually kind of interesting to see where they're going to go with that, because pretty much everybody who was interesting, in my opinion, is pretty much staying out in the other galaxy. And don't get me wrong, I like Thrawn, but he's not super interesting right now. Like they didn't give us enough time with him to make him super interesting. So I think he'll get more interesting in season 2 when he's back in the main universe or in the main galaxy. So,
well, the rumors are that they are going to do a Thrawn movie, and I like the sound of that, because I like the sound of them doing a movie which is based upon the villain of the series, where he is the main character. And so if we can see then his chess-like mind on display, where he's one step ahead, because I look at Thrawn a little bit like Palpatine without the Sith powers. But Palpatine was a chess player in his own right. He was several steps ahead, with his plan to play both sides against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different though, because he like Thrawn is an actual admiral who knows the art of war. So it's a whole different ball game, so to speak. But in a way, you can see that Thrawn sort of mentality in Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, when he kind of wanted the Rebel fleet to come into the fight so that they could destroy them. Near the end, obviously that backtracked because Palpatine underestimated Ewoks, but that's how it goes. And I love how they adapted them. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I feel like they did. I feel like they did not do Thrawn too much justice, because I felt like he just kept on throwing troops at them. And the first round, all he wanted to do was stall them. Okay, that's fine. He's stalling them, but then he kept on throwing troops at them, and it's like I feel like they still could have gotten away if they would have spent less time throwing troops at them and actually getting the fuck out. I really feel like that they did some things just for showman's sake. Whereas Thrawn could have just gotten out of there a lot quicker if he would have just,
No, it looked like his ship had some damage though. I'm not sure how well the hyper. Some people from some of the other reviews I was watching and listening to, they mentioned that maybe his hyperdrives weren't working too well or some shit like that. So
yeah, probably. I mean, his ship was pretty damaged when it was warped.
Yeah,
because the Purgles wrapped they wrapped themselves around the start. If you watch the scene in Rebels, which I've seen the scene, I haven't watched Rebels, but the Purgles wrapped themselves around the Star Destroyer, and then they did the whole hyperspace jump thing. So there's probably some damage there from the Purgles wrapping themselves around it and then dragging him through hyperspace. So there's probably some damage, and I think they did say that. I mean, his main engines were not on the entire time. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's the big engines, and then there's the smaller engines. So the smaller engines were always on, and I don't know if that was because they were in the atmosphere and those are like atmospheric engines. But like even in space, I don't remember the big engines being lit. So there might have been, huh?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I noticed that myself. I
So
just
I don't
saw the
know if
repair
like
done.
I don't know if you're right that like that his hyperdrive and all that stuff was damaged, and he needed the ring to actually get his Star Destroyer out because
It's a Star Destroyer, not a Super Star Destroyer, is it?
no, it is a Star Destroyer. It is not a
Just a
Super
Star
Star
Destroyer.
Destroyer, dude. Super
Yeah,
Star
fair
Destroyer
enough.
is humongous.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
Yeah.
remember in Empire Strikes Back when like the Star Destroyers were flying around it and you thought they were like flying like by a planet or some kind of body, and it's like, nope, that's a Star Destroyer. And there's like here was like the Super Star Destroyer on your screen, and then here's like a Star Destroyer like this big. Like Super Star Destroyers are massive.
Anyway, Daniel Vaughn says, I love how they're adapting the Mara Jade storyline. I am not 100% sure on how they're doing that. Maybe you need to expand on that for me just to really shine a light on it. I know who Mara Jade is, by the way. Thrawn will appear as a baddie until the real big baddie comes along, and then he'll be the end. No.
No, we want all Thrawn. All Thrawn.
No, I don't. Thrawn needs to be defeated and then moved along. Look, I'm going to put you back in the cage if you don't stop misbehaving. All right. You know what? I'm going to put you back in the cage.
Thrawn needs to be the Thanos. Bottom line, Thrawn needs to be Thanos.
Yeah.
The Thanos of Star Wars.
Yeah, which is why he needs his own movie, so we can totally focus on him and watch him like beat the good guys from his perspective. Bend over. I need a big hard lightsaber up my ass. Ask and it shall come.
Literally.
Prepare for the grand assault should have included explosives in the tower.
He's not wrong. That would have been a much better plan than just blow it up with guns.
Hati taking the mantle. Oh, okay. Well, look, I want to quickly talk about Shin Hati. I was upset that she wasn't with the Empire or with Thrawn contingent.
I agree
because that's kind of how it was explained about her ambition. I mean, she was with them last week and she lost, but she would have still been with them, and she would have been a valuable asset to Thrawn. To have a lightsabering wielder on their side.
If anything, I felt like I go back and forth on this. This was my thought is that instead of Morgan fighting Ahsoka, maybe it should have been Shin, or maybe it should have been Morgan because she's kind of outrun her usefulness. You know what I mean? Like in the show, like I'm kind of glad she died because it's like,
yeah, me too.
So I mean, maybe Morgan still should have stayed, and then Shin should have been with Thrawn and kind of been.
Or maybe fought Sabine or Ezra possibly, and I wouldn't mind if if Hati got away, which I'm totally fine with, and she could have been maybe the new. I'm not saying that she would have been like the new Night Sister, but she could have been the new like person to take over from Morgan. In that sense, like her spot gone, she could take the vacancy. But I was very upset. I mean, like, see, my problem with this episode is not what we got. I thought what we got was pretty good. Is what we didn't get, and what we didn't get was enough from Balin and Hati. Like, just seeing Hati thinking, you know what, I'm going to stay on this planet and isolate myself and chill with these fucking, with these Z-list fucking samurais. No. It just didn't work for me at all. I thought that was poor. I thought it was really poor. Hello there, Jim.
And the elephant in the room, Ray Stevens'
Balin?
character. Yeah, Balin. Like,
well, there was a little bit more to that. For a start, very big Lord of the Ring vibes, humongous. I mean, you saw him on the statues of the father, the son, and the daughter. The daughter was there as well, but her head had corroded. You just saw the chest area and stuff like that. There was no head there. And you can see the statue pointing, and you can see the mountain in the distance. And there's almost like a volcano, so to speak, like a Mount Doom, almost. You know what I mean?
I mean, remember one of the last scenes from Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Like, Wasn't it
Yeah,
Sauron standing right outside Mordor, right inside Mordor, and he was looking over
yeah,
Mordor, like in
yeah. He's going home.
he's like my
And
dominion.
so, yeah, exactly. And but just like, even that, like, I don't know if certain scenes were edited or cut to compensate for the fact that Ray Stevenson had died. And I'm at a stage now where I'm no longer caring about particular characters only being played by particular actors. You know, I was like that with Chadwick Boseman. I really was. But in hindsight, I would not have been. If I could go back now and tell myself not to be like that, I would. You know, and Ray Stevenson has created a really memorable character in Balin, and I don't want this to be the last we see of Balin. You know, and
They just got to find somebody who is just as strong of a presence as Ray Steven. I do agree with you. Like, I'm not like angered by the fact that they're going to recast him. I felt like it would have been not poetic, but I feel like it would have been nice if his character did end this season. So this could kind of be like his swan song to, like, because he's been in Marvel movies, he's been in uh Rome, he's been in a lot of this kind of fantasy
when you
stuff.
see Marvel movies, that are you talking about that one film where he played the Punisher?
Absolutely. He was a
Okay.
great Punisher. Listen, that film was shit, but he was a great Punisher.
Yeah, man. Look, like we talked about that film when he was in my cab, and yeah, that's one of his proudest efforts. So,
Yeah, he was good in that movie. Like, I know people don't give that movie a chance because it's shit, and yes, it is kind of shit. But like, I bet you if we revisit it, I bet you a lot more people would appreciate the movie more. I think not just because obviously Ray Stevenson is passed, but because I think it's honestly aged better than we think. Like, I feel we have, and I mean, maybe I need to go back and rewatch it. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. But anyway, so also obviously he's been in the Thor movies. Although he was misused in the third Thor movie, which is a bunch of bullshit.
they were all of Thor's mates were, I mean, all killed off.
Yeah,
And he told me when he was in my cab that that when it came to Thor Ragnarok, he didn't have he wasn't given the full script. He was only given he was only given the script where he'd be with the lines he was supposed to have only. That's all he had. And now I know why. Because they fucking killed him off.
yeah.
Fucking
That was
ridiculous.
a travesty of what they did to the Warriors 3. Like, I mean, if you, and I know I'm tangenting, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just gonna say this is just that you kill them all, you kill the Warriors 3. That's one thing, but take them out with style, not like freaking like chumps. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was a
Yeah.
disgrace, especially to Ray Stevenson. That was a disgrace.
Anyways, it will be like this whole like special power. A lot of people, as I said before, said it could be Abeloth. If that's the case, who is the mother of that group? If that's the case, I wouldn't mind that. But that in itself needs its own sort of series or story or movie in its own right. It can't be played off as a fucking B plot. Some people say it could be Palpatine.
I know, I've heard that rumor, and I'm like, please God, no.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean,
that's for
listen,
sure.
I'm not as hard on the sequel trilogy as a lot of people are, but I still admit that there are some dumbass decisions in the sequel trilogy. Palpatine returning, definitely one of them.
Yeah. Let me quickly tell you Daniel Vance, who I've had in my cab in the last 12 months, or maybe 15 months. I've had Henry Thomas. Henry Thomas is the guy who plays Elliot, young Elliot in E.T. I've put the picture on my Facebook. Cheeto has seen it. I've also had Dominic. Oh, why does his surname escape me now?
Mysterio, you want your poppy.
No. Come on. Google it for me. Dominic.
I'm eating. Sorry.
Oh, let me just type in Howard Stark.
Oh, Dominic Cooper.
Dominic Cooper. Yes, I've had Dominic Cooper in my cab, as well as Gemma Chan, who plays his girlfriend. Sorry, who is his real life girlfriend, who plays Cersei in Eternals. I got a picture of myself with Dominic. Yeah, I had a picture. I got my picture of myself with Dominic Cooper, and I had him and Gemma Chan both in my cab. I didn't take a picture of her because I already took one with Dominic Cooper. I didn't want to come across as too intrusive. So, but I had both of them in my cab. I got a picture of myself with Dominic Cooper to prove that. And recently, I had Ben Whishaw, who plays Q in the James Bond movies. I got a picture of myself with him as well. Also posted it on social media. Cheeto has seen that too. So I have a lot of fucking famous people in my cab, and that's one of the best things about my fucking job. I love it. It's great stuff. Even though today was exhausting, this is by the way, one of the reasons why I didn't want to host today, Cheeto, is that I've just come back from a place near Southampton, which is almost 100 miles away from London, and coming back from that job, it absolutely exhausted me. But the show must go on, I guess. So fair enough.
I know I was surprised when I thought it was just you. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Have you watched DC Cab? What is DC Cab? I've watched Taxi with fucking Danny DeVito from back in the day, and the other actor as well, whose name escapes me. I got Taxi TV show. Judd Hirsch, yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, Andy Kaufman was in that too. Yeah, but yeah, we used to watch that back in the day. That was a really good show. Was happy to see the Morai finally show up. The Morai? What the hell is the Morai?
Honestly, don't know.
No. You're coming up with all these terms. All I know is that Disney did at some point, when they first got hold of Star Wars, they really tried to make it their own. And I'm really happy with the backlash, because you've got an abundance. Yeah, Shocker's Owl, fair enough, which they copied from Clash of the Titans, I guess. DC Cab is a movie. Oh, fair enough. I'll keep an eye out for that, Jim. But when Disney first bought Star Wars, they really tried to make it their own by banishing some of the old lore and creating their new lore. One of the worst things they ever did was the bleeding of the kyber crystals to make them red. I did not like that, because now, what the hell are these orange lightsabers? You know what I mean? How does that work?
Some people maybe they have more copper in their. Maybe the kyber crystal has more copper in its blood. Kind of gives a little bit more of an orange tint.
There you go. You see, we have to come up with ridiculous,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the most stupidest things they did. Regarding that, and they really didn't want to go with the old lore. And obviously, Kathleen Kennedy famously mentioned, quoting they haven't got any law to go on, or something along those lines. I'm not sure if you remember her saying something like that. And people ripped the shit out of her because there was so much, so much Legends material to use.
So here's my thing. I think the original statement, not by Kathleen Kennedy, from Disney and Lucasfilm Studios, I think they more meant that something everything, nothing is outside is canon until we make it canon. So they obviously made references to Clone Wars early on. So Clone Wars became canon again. I think that's their thing, is if we start mentioning things that are in the legends, that are canon, then we will, then it will be canon. But here's the other thing is Heir of the Empire came out in the 80s, I think. Isn't that when those books came out? So
yeah, of course they came out in the 80s.
So I would not mind, and I would not mind
or 90s. Of it. No, I don't mind that either, because in a way they've got no choice, because they've bastardized the future of Star Wars with their shitty sequel trilogy. But regardless, they've had to go back to what works and what fans want, because having someone like Thrawn come back, how everyone knows how popular he was in the books, and bringing him back was a no-brainer. They used him obviously in Rebels, and now they're bringing him back in this. It was always going to be a non-brainer, because he's a very popular character. Why? Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, why? I mean, I have no problem with them trying to create new characters. I think Cobb Vanth is probably one of the most popular characters that they've created in the Disney universe. But when you've got people like from you got Clone War characters created by Dave Filoni, and you got characters from the Legend books as well. Like you can create new characters like Balin and Sean Hottie, or sorry, Shin Hottie, and so on, and add them to the mix. But you don't have to, like, you got so much, you got so many people still yet to come into this universe. Like the Yuuzhan Vong still, my goodness. I mean, if they could bring that in, that would be fantastic. But once again, you don't have to, pull things out your ass, because what they've done recently with the Star Wars trilogy, with the Star Wars sequel trilogy, you got stuff here. You got so much stuff here. Make it work. You can make it work, and I really feel like they've kind of been doing that recently. I really
feel like if they moved the sequel trilogy into Legends, like if they just came out and said, "Look, the sequel trilogy is now a part of Legends canon," like it is there. It is. If you enjoyed it, it is still a part of the Star Wars universe. But we are going to move past that, and that gives them a lot of creative freedom in the current timeline, where with Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and maybe if there's a second season, they can kind of redeem it. Probably not, but we can always hope. But like all of these post Return of the Jedi things, they can actually do something with it. They have the freedom to actually like do things from Legends canon, that like bring some Legends canon in that is good.
Yeah,
that
they don't need to do like
they hogtied themselves with the sequel trilogy.
Exactly, and they don't need to even do like a trilogy of movies, like a new version of 7, 8, and 9. And and they don't necessarily need to do a Book of Boba Fett season 2. They ruined Book of Boba Fett, by the way, by making it too fucking.
I know. I kind of regretted it immediately when I said it.
No, but the point is, Boba Fett himself can always come back in as a supporting cast member. I mean, people would appreciate that. Same with the Mandalorian. I mean, like these guys could be the Tony Stark, in the Star Wars universe, where they've already got their shit done. They've got their stuff under the belt. Boba Fett's been in several movies, had his own TV show. The Mandalorian's had 3 seasons of his own show. Now they can just show up with other shit now and again, just to add the star power.
Yeah, so it's like Daredevil and She-Hulk. Like you can, like, Daredevil just showing up was the most viewed episode of She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Like, there is, and these had he had 3 seasons on Netflix that are still could or could not be canon. So there's obviously a draw there. So
exactly.
DC Cab was made in 1983, the year I was born.
Give me the Bad Batch rather than another season of Boba Fett. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some more Bad Batch as well. I feel there is definitely something there, and I want to see more stuff, in this current timeline that we're in. I feel like certain timelines we've exhausted.
That's my only issue with Andor.
Yeah,
like my only issue with Andor is that it is set before the Battle of Yavin. I'm like, anything that happens needs to be after Return of the Jedi. Everything, like, unless they go like way back in time where it doesn't matter, like
Old Republic era.
Era. But I'm like, like you really need like to everything hard stop at Return of the Jedi. You need, everything needs to be past that. There's no going back in between. And I loved Andor so much, and I know Andor died, in Rogue One. But I'm like, then they should have done that show. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. They're hog tying themselves with some of the stuff that they've been doing.
Well, they've still got a second season of Andor to do, by the way. Yep. So I look forward.
I think it's already filmed. Like, it's already done.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Including the strikes, because they would have started filming that.
No, they started filming it a while ago.
Yeah, they filmed that almost a year. They started filming that about almost a year ago. I think they started filming that in November last year.
Yeah, I think it's done. Like hold on, I'm looking up Andor season 2 release status. So, but yeah, I everything, as I said, everything needs to be post Return of the Jedi, period.
And they've got their Sith series as well coming out next year. um, which which worries me because as much as I love the Sith, as regarding them being them being the main point of view, and like I said, my favorite book is about the Sith, even though there's a Jedi who's the main one of the main antagonists of the book. Um, yeah, I just love following the Sith. Red Harvest, by the way, if you guys have not read Red Harvest, it is awesome. Red Harvest is awesome. It's such a simple book about zombies, but the Sith, oh my god, they're so fucking bad in that. And
Well, here's the thing. Everybody, and
yeah,
this is a theory that kind of got debunked, was everybody was saying that the stormtroopers were zombies already. I don't think they were, because they had to cast a spell on those stormtroopers.
well, I'll tell you this: if you watch the fight scene between Sabine and one of the stormtroopers,
Yes,
his helmet was
the
kind of
dark
broken
trooper.
off.
Yeah, the
Yeah, and his
dark
helmet,
trooper.
he looked like almost like a skeleton underneath there.
Mhm. That one I would say,
Do you
yes,
notice
those
that?
guys were the zombies already, because they were the dark troopers.
Hmm.
So, but I feel like the other stormtroopers, they're probably just regular stormtroopers, I think. Because remember, they even said, are all these people the ones that volunteered? Do they understand what's going to happen? Like it seemed like that they actually had a choice in the matter, and that they weren't just like mindless zombies following orders of the sisters. So
Yeah,
now obviously they became zombies after they killed them all, and then they cast a spell. But everybody was saying, "Oh no, they're all dead. Like those are all dead."
they they even walked like zombies.
Well, after
Yeah,
the
so,
spell, yeah. I mean, they definitely did. Like some of them didn't even have their, like a couple had blasters, and all the rest of them were just running. Like they were just like
yeah.
like Resident Evil, Last of Us versions.
It was interesting how this time Ezra was able to get back, but the guys who were there to rescue him all managed to stay behind.
I
They don't seem to be too worried. They don't seem to be too worried either, which is kind of making me a bit concerned. But hopefully, Ahsoka's got a plan. I mean, the Purgle seems to be the only way back, but hopefully that's the way they do go back. Um, but the one Ezra dropped in and get back up and jumped about aboard the Star Destroyer somewhere alive. You could hear them yelling battle orders until they died. Yeah, well, even he did decapitate a few of them. So
Well, and that was kind of my thing, is like, why didn't anybody tell Ahsoka to decapitate him? Like, obviously at that point when like Ahsoka was back with them, and like like they knew that they had to decapitate him because Ezra did it, and so did I mean kind of Sabine did, because she did the lightsaber through the head, of the one. So like,
mhm.
why did nobody tell her, Ahsoka, that they need to chop the heads off? Like and I mean, has she never seen a zombie movie? I mean, come on. Like,
Well, no, I don't think she has actually. To be honest with you,
that was kind of a joke.
no, sorry.
You ruined my
Anyways,
joke, Sam. Thanks a lot.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But it was nice to see Thrawn leaving them behind. They were just chasing. They were always on their tail, and they just couldn't catch up with them quick enough. And Thrawn said, "Fuck you guys, screw you guys. I'm going home." And he walked the hell out of there, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like that. And we obviously know Ezra is on that ship, and I like the fact that he disguised himself as a stormtrooper in order to escape. Surprised that maybe someone as tactically minded as From would not have realized that one of their shuttles has left the hangar bay and all of that malarkey. But I'll give that a pass. But Ezra goes back, meets Hera, and they have their reunion as well, which is nice. But obviously, some things do feel unfulfilled, and yeah, it's going to be interesting what next season brings. A lot of it's going to be based on in that planet still, in my opinion. How much I don't know. Hopefully,
I
a
think the first
maximum of
couple
2 episodes.
I think the first
Yeah,
couple episodes is I'm going to be wrapping up Balin and Shin, and I really feel like the first. I mean,
I
I would
just
say even the
don't
first
want
3 episodes.
redemption for Shin Hati. Like, I'm
No,
sick and tired of redemption for Sith. I'm sick and tired of it. Like, Anakin had it. Fucking Ben had it. Ben Solo, that is. That girl from the Obi-Wan series had it. and
God, what was her
possibly
name?
Shin.
Now we're
I
racist.
forgot her
Her
name.
name.
No, look, I like that character. I mean, it's
Reva.
funny in a way because Reva. A lot of people were complaining about Reva. I mean, these are the same people who complain that all white people are bad guys and all black people are good guys. And finally, we have a black Sith woman, and they still complained.
And she
My
was a
problem with
badass. I loved her. I
yeah,
loved her
she
as a
was
bad guy.
she was a badass, and she had her hidden agenda, but she turned to the dark side. So regardless of her hidden agenda, she should have still stayed as a Sith. But now, in a way, with her meeting Ben, you almost feel like, okay, what's happened to her? Where has she been since Obi-Wan and New Hope? Like, what, that has to be resolved.
Yeah.
It has to be resolved.
Because she didn't die, right? I've only watched Obi-Wan.
She didn't die. She got stabbed in the gut.
God, what a crock of shit. Like, she had to die. Like, she either had to live on as a Sith or die. Like, yeah, that's it. I don't know.
And you know what? I'm sick to death. I'm sick to death of all these fucking fandom menace dickheads having a go that fucking Qui-Gon Jinn died by being stabbed in the gut.
He almost stabbed in the dick.
Yeah, sorry, but whilst
I died too
Reva,
if I was stabbed in the dick.
Yeah, whilst Reva and Sabine Wren also got stabbed in the gut and lived, but they keep forgetting that Darth Maul got cut in fucking half. Yeah.
And he lived.
Yeah, he's not only cut in half, he's fucking walking around. Now, how do you live without any, like, if you got cut by the waist, that means he's got no fucking asshole or fucking dick. So someone answer how a human being can, how can somebody, no, he's not a human being, how does a humanoid creature like that live without their fucking genitalia and asshole? I don't know. You know what I mean? But there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
and he lived.
Yeah. No, as I said, I was just mad that Vader either didn't kill her or she didn't live on as a Sith. Like, I mean, live on as a Sith or die at Obi-Wan's hand. You know what I mean? Like,
which is why I like that director's cut or that fan cut
because it made it like she died by Vader.
It
right?
made it, the moment Vader fought her, she was dead.
Yep.
And that was much better. So,
but that's
maybe
just us. We're actually we are racist. I mean, we just want all the black people to die. That's us. Don't clip that, Daniel Vance. Don't clip that.
You see, this is why I'm always worried about saying stuff like this because of clips. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, people will assume that we're on the wrong side of things politically, and then dickheads like Hills versus Babyface is somebody that we aspire to, which is far from it because he's boring. He's fucking boring. That dickhead, I hate him so much. Pisses me off that he's the same nationality as me. Regardless, we got a Force Ghost.
Oh, God.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I forgot.
And this was this was Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost, which makes me start to come to think that maybe that was the Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost we saw in the World Between Worlds. Now, because this was definitely a Force Ghost, but we saw the blue light around his, the aura of that Force Ghost aura around his body, and he had to change his clothes as well, but he wasn't wearing Jedi robes.
Yeah, he was wearing Jedi robes.
No, but he wasn't wearing the same robes he wore at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah. Probably not.
He was wearing his black robes. He was wearing his Return of the Sith robes.
Gotcha.
Yes, yeah.
I don't really care that much. Pay that much attention to it, but yeah, that's a good catch.
Regardless, it was interesting to see his ghost there, and I'm sure that his Force Ghost is going to probably pay Ahsoka a visit. Don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, they're going to milk all this for and getting Hayden Christensen back. And here's my thing: it's like Star Wars screwed the pooch with Hayden Christensen. Like they really did. He did good in Revenge of the Sith, but Star Wars 2, they shit the bed with him, and that just put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It's taken 25 years for us to finally get over it. Now we're finally liking Hayden Christensen, but it's like the damage has been done. Like, stop with the
2005. So it's been 18 years. 18 years to 21 years if you look at Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones is where he was insufferable. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, but young people usually are. Sabine Helmet still Sabine, I wonder what Sabine almost saw rather than what Ashoka did see. Well, yeah, well, I think Sabine not necessarily saw. I think Sabine felt a disturbance in the Force. Um, Sabine's helmet still shines red in the intro. She could easily be hearing whatever Skull is hearing. Do you think, by the way, we got a good payoff with Sabine being able to use the Force
No,
to save
I mean,
herself?
it was fine, but I wasn't like, oh, here we go. She's going to. I honestly thought it would have been much better if she was like doing the thing, and then out of nowhere, like Ezra came up and sliced the head off of the and saved her again. Because when you build it up so much like that, there's just I don't feel like the payoffs are ever good. Like you're expecting it the whole series. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I like that. I didn't mind the payoff. It could have actually waited till season 2, to pay it
probably.
off, which would be massive. But at the same time, I don't mind the payoff. I think the
Like
fact that she was in a life or death situation almost made it abundant that it did pay off.
I
So
mean, like if maybe like you kind of saw like the lightsaber rocking a little bit, and then Ezra came up and saved her, like but the thing still never came to her, But you like, oh, she's getting it, she's getting it. At least it gives you a tease to what could happen, and then maybe next season, when they're stuck on the planet, they can,
well, she didn't have a jetpack on her, did she?
No, because they nerfed her jetpack for some reason. Like Daniel Vance has been saying all season she's supposed to have a jetpack. And it would have been very handy if she had a jetpack when she's, they're trying to get to the ship.
Well, I like the fact that that she is a Mandalorian, and in a way, Ahsoka said, "Look, you're a Mandalorian. You don't need to just use your lightsabers. Get your fucking pistols out and start shooting."
I did like that too when
And
she said, she
yeah,
say blasters? She's like
yeah,
blasters, and she just whipped those blasters out.
exactly. So like she's playing to Sabine's strengths, which I very much appreciated. So
I
yeah,
agree. I thought that was a really good moment right there. Just because I really was like, she wasn't doing much with the lightsaber, and I get it if you're in close hand-to-hand combat or something like that using a lightsaber, but it's like they were just blocking blasts at that point. So it's like, no, like have Ezra and Ahsoka, who are great with lightsabers, cover you, and then you blast them, at a range. So it was a good call by Ahsoka. I thought that was a really great like tactical moment by Ahsoka.
yeah, I agree. It has to be because they're filming in the volume, and it's impossible to rig without further CGI.
What is?
The filming in the volume. I mean, I don't know, maybe that room, with the screens around it and shit, and her having to use a jetpack will require maybe more levitation. Sort of.
Yeah, but they do it in The Mandalorian all the time. Like
Yeah,
Mandalorian does the same thing.
yeah. Good point. Good point. I don't know. I don't know, and honestly, Daniel Wise, we shouldn't really care too much. It's all good, man. These sort of things are irrelevant. What we need. I mean, it'd be cool if she does end up getting a jetpack, and then we see a pistol in one hand, lightsaber in the other, which is what she did at one point in this. She was shooting and swinging, and then also with the jetpack as well. Oh my god, that'd be fucking epic.
I mean, I agree with Daniel Vance. Like she should have her. Mandalorians don't go anywhere without their equipment. Like we know that from the Mandalorian show itself, from Boba Fett. Like in general,
Yeah, but he wasn't really like a Mandalorian anymore. The same way she wasn't really a Jedi. She was kind of like a hobo. You know what I mean? When we find her, but yeah, regardless, I think everyone in our group, apart from me, gives her a lot of shit. I like the actress a lot.
I don't. No. I
think she's
she's been
awesome.
fine. I think the first two
I like
episodes.
Sabine Wren.
I think the
Even with
first two episodes.
even with all of that, even with all that stupid stuff about her ignoring the conference and not doing a speech and all of that bollocks, it didn't bother me at all. And we didn't even see her in the first
It wasn't
episode.
even that. I think it was more just the fact that she ignored Ahsoka saying, hey, Ahsoka's like, this is something that is very dangerous and in the wrong hands could be more dangerous. And she just blatantly ignored it when they all know the danger of Thrawn. Like if Sabine was somebody who had no idea who Thrawn was, I could see her doing this. But Sabine knows, from what I understand, Sabine knows who Thrawn is. obviously through the show, you can tell she knows who Thrawn is. So
She's
for
the
her
true
to just
leader of Mandalore. Yeah, I agree. Do you know about that?
no, not really, but
Yeah, she
I will
held the
definitely take
lightsaber.
Daniel Vance's word for it.
She held the dark saber and she gave it to Bo Selector, Bo Katan. And I think Bo Katan being retrieved it is what she believed foreshadowed the destruction of Mandalore. Because she never, it was almost like a curse, and she by retrieving the dark saber without fighting for it, Mandalore got destroyed as far as she's concerned. So that time round when Bo Katan was offered it, at the end of season 2, she never took it, but she ended up getting it anyway, which is pretty cool because she used it to save Jin. So fair enough, all good. And I wouldn't mind seeing a Bo-Katan series. I think Katie Sackhoff is excellent. She's a great actress, so I look forward to more. All right, Tom. Thrawn gone back. He went back to Dathomir. Maybe we'll see a bit of Dathomir next season as well. Be interesting to see.
So a lot of people were saying the pods were going to be dead stormtroopers. But if there weren't a lot of, if there were way too many, there weren't too many for there to be stormtroopers. I don't think they were stormtroopers. I think that they were like either Night Sisters or what are the guys called?
Yeah, Death Troopers. They're going to be Death Troopers. They're going to be reanimated corpses, and they're going to be put into fucking uniform and asked to fight again.
No, I think they're going to be not like Sith, but like what's the like the Night Sisters race? Like what are they? Because
I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
Daniel Vance says he thinks that the coffins were filled with dead Night Sisters. I think they are too, and I think that they're going to bring them back, and that's what's going to.
By the way, I got Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes.
Oh yeah.
When we pulled out and we who's looking off the Ark now? Top men, and then you see the fucking Ark being put into a warehouse and nobody's ever going to touch it ever again. And when we got a pullback of the coffins, it kind of reminded me of that scene. They're on the Dathomir or something like that. Then, Dathomir, which is the name of the planet they're on. So,
well, isn't that the planet where they were building the ring anyway?
No, they built that. Initially, I think they got it on that freight planet because they were
that's where they stole the hyperdrive from.
That's where they stole the hyperdrive. Yeah.
Was it or what? I don't remember.
No, but it was the Purgles were around on that planet, and
yeah, but they were only there temporarily until they left. I mean, they don't.
Well, that's where the ring was.
Live there. They migrate.
Yeah. The musical pieces they pro Dathomir. It's a dead planet at this point. Okay, it's a Sith planet as well, isn't it? It's infused with the dark side. So yeah. So yeah, interesting finale. I think for me, everything was good apart from the Balin Shinhoti stuff. I think that was really a massive letdown.
It really was. That was going to be one of my big points against it. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was. In a way, it kind of left things open for next season in how they answer it. I think they're relying on a lot of things to be answered next season because in a way, all we got was Thrawn escaping. Really, that's all we got. The fucking New Republic is still thick as shit. Ahsoka and Sabine seem to be kind of happy stranded on that planet along with Balin, who's going to Mount Doom, and Shinhoti chilling with the fucking samurais. Mm-hmm. It just like these things just seem crap, and
I agree with you. Like I really feel like they left too. Like sometimes you're like you have things wrapped up in a tiny bow. This is the opposite end of the pendulum, where it's like there is way too much left open. I mean, again, Shinhati should have gone back with Thrawn. I feel like leave Balin there on the planet and his little adventure or whatever, and then maybe beginning of next season, Ahsoka and Sabine are going to have to deal with Balin and whatever he's got going on. Maybe Balin's the one who like hires the raiders, the samurai raiders, to like keep Ahsoka and Sabine busy while he does his little quest to Mount Doom. Like I just feel like there's wrapping everything up in a nice tiny bow, and then there's this, which is like everything is open ended. Like we have besides Thrawn getting home, you're right. That's it. That was it. The entire thing was Thrawn getting home.
And I don't know what's going to happen now. Like, and don't get me wrong.
That's good. I mean, we don't want to know what
happens.
happens.
I mean, no, sorry. What I meant is like, I just feel like they're going to just have to come up with shit for season 2 to answer a lot of the stuff that hasn't even got remotely answered in season 1. It would be nice maybe them saying, okay, let's find some Purgle or something like that to get back. I mean, just to feel like they're content staying on that planet feels wrong. Thrawn has gone back to fucking their galaxy. Ahsoka was adamant in finding Thrawn in the Mandalorian, and now she's found him and he's escaped. She's just gonna chill. No,
I feel like now that she's killed. I feel like now that
Morgan.
she's killed Morgan, like I feel like she's like, you know what? I've earned this break. Like that's how I feel like she is. She's like, I've earned this. I've earned.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I just feel like getting back to their galaxy is paramount to stop this particular person. But if he starts to expand and reach out, he will be super deadly and dangerous to deal with. And obviously Ahsoka knows this. They all know this. So yeah, I'm in a way like the content they felt at the end felt wrong. It felt very wrong.
Oh yeah, it should have. There should have not have been them like happily being with the villagers and stuff like that. Like the ending should have been like Thrawn leaving, and then a like kind of a pan along, like Balin doing his thing, Shinhati doing like at worst case scenario, which is kind of what we got. Shinhati doing her thing, and then Thrawn approaching Dathomir with all of the coffins, and that's your black fade to black moment. Like there's no nice, cozy, living the dream and Anakin Skywalker ghost, and that should not have been there.
I agree with this comment. Season 2 doesn't have to involve Thrawn, but I don't want season 2 to basically be them on this in this universe having to deal with all the shit this universe has to offer, and then by the time season 1, then by the time season 2 ends, they figure out a way of getting back to their universe, and then boom, they're back to their universe. That for me would feel very unfulfilling, and obviously you still got the Balin and Hottie stuff to deal with as well. I don't know how if they went down that route to do season 2, I'll be unhappy. But yeah, you're right. Thrawn doesn't have to be in season 2, but at the same time, like
I feel like what are they
got to do? Yeah, what's she gonna do?
I mean, does she get back home? But it's like, what's the reason they're going home? Thrawn.
Well, this ultimate power, the Balin might unleash, which ends up being a bad thing. That could be something. There could be something there, but I don't know. Anyway, let's mark this episode, shall we? You still have half the Rebel crew in the main universe to be part of the Thrawn movie. Yeah, I know that. That's if they pull their head out their asses, because the New Republic, doesn't seem to give a damn. Thrawn is back. We were wrong. Oh, he's only one Star Destroyer. We can take care of that. I mean, that's honestly that's the next thing it's going to jump to. So yeah. All right, Cheetah, what are you going to give it out of 10? This is episode 8. Just episode 8. And we'll mark the finale afterwards.
I know. I'm going between
the series.
I'm going between a 7 and an 8. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I'm going to go with a 7 just because, as I said, they left things way too open-ended, and it just felt a lot of stuff with Balin and Shinhati was left unresolved. And on top of that, yeah, like stuff in the main universe, the New Republic and everything, like all like with what's her Hera, like a lot of shit just is unresolved. And I get it, like okay, like save it for season 2. I mean, that's what Star Trek Prodigy did. You know, like they did a first half of season 1 and a second half of season 2 or season 1. But it's like, so we could have that situation where it's like, hey, Ahsoka season 1, this is the first half, and then we'd be like, oh, why isn't this season 1 and 2? But I just feel like there's like it felt like a mid-season finale, not a season finale.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I agree with exactly what you just said. Everything, so that it also gets a 7 out of 10 for me. I feel the Balin Hottie stuff was extremely significant and not resolved in any capacity whatsoever. Not when I say resolved, I mean what Shin Hati did. I thought the way they resolved her story felt like really premature, unresolved, unwarranted. All of these things, like what the hell is she doing there? She should be with fucking Thrawn and stuff. What the fuck?
Yep.
And the whole Balin thing as well. Like you can kind of tell that they don't really know what they're gonna do with this new higher power, so they just kind of left it open ended, so to speak.
Yeah.
With that Lord of the Rings ending.
Well, and that's kind of a Filoni trademark. It feels like is like where he's just like, "Hey, what are we gonna do with this? What are we gonna do with this? I mean, we're teasing this. And be like, yeah, we'll figure it out later. That's next season Filoni's problem. This is today Filoni. You know, like
yeah, it's fucking baloney. You know what I mean?
I don't doubt you. Blame you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. As well as like the stuff back in the original universe felt pretty shitty as well with Hera and the New Republic. Wasn't really feeling that either. Okay, what about season 1 as a whole?
Doing the whole season.
Yeah,
I'll give it as a whole. I'll give it a very, very generous 8, just because I thought a lot of things were done really well. There was only one episode that I really had an issue with. This episode was a bit underwhelming. As I said, it did feel like a mid-season finale, but I think overall the series was good. Like it was not just above average, it was good. Especially compared to like Book of Boba Fett and Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, especially Kenobi. Like it's definitely above those. I would say still it's not above Andor for me. I would still say Andor is a much better series, but it's still 8 is a very high mark. I would feel, and I feel like that's justified.
yeah. After watching this entire show, I was Juicy, you naughty girl, fucking shitting on my chair. I would say I would also give it an 8. I thought this is the best mainstream Star Wars that we've got in a while, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for that. At the same time, Andor, which is not mainstream, is still the better show, and but it's set in a time period I don't really give a fuck about anymore, and it's also obviously a prequel series too. I mean, this is theoretically a prequel series as well, considering we know what's going to be happening with the sequel trilogy. But still, this is also very good for what it is. There's a whole bunch of stuff yet to come from this. The whole Thrawn stuff, I guess, is setting up a lot of stuff. It gets an 8. It could have been like, considering Star Wars under Disney's been really shit recently. So initially. I would say recently Star Wars under Disney has improved a lot. I think Bad Batch has been pretty good. I think the Clone Wars season 7 was very good. Andor was good. This is good. So things are improving. Sometimes it's a bit like Kurtzman. You need to fuck things up a little bit and then get some feedback and realize the direction you need to go in, and they're going in the right direction now. That's for sure. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for the season 1. It would have got a lot higher if they hit the landing with episode 8. That's for sure. It might have got a 9 or a 10 if it would have definitely got a 9 if they hit the landing with episode 8, but they didn't. All right. Anything more to add, my son?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good.
Wonderful. All right, everyone out there in YouTube, and then we'll be back tomorrow. You see my bird? She's proper all over my phone. Isn't it juicy? Isn't it, my girl? Let's see if I can pick her up. Yeah, you love the phone, don't you? Go on. No, you don't want the phone?
So
Don't want the
tomorrow
phone?
we have Lower Decks.
Okay.
Friday we
Yeah.
have The World's Gone Insane, where we talk about all our politics and stuff. And then on Saturday we are going to be doing a discussion on Loki season 2, episode 1.
And Sunday we'll be doing the Intercontinental. And at some point, myself and Ginger will be talking about season 3 of Only Murderers in the Building, or Murders in the Building, whatever it's called. Isn't it, my baby? So yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Lots of stuff on the YouTube coming up. All right, this sign us off. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace and long life.